we have in the past, we've closed the pool for a 10-15 minute break halfway through the afternoon, requiring them to get out. We basically shut the pool down for 15 minutes, then go get something to drink, eat, cool down a little bit. But when it's hot like that, and this is one of those hot years that we hadn't experienced before and seen the effects of that. So the fact that a lot of them did not have the swim diapers, and we didn't have the, I don't know what you want to call it, I'll just call it the training to actually spot that, and then the enforcement of it, then you have more of these accidents that happen. Kids stay in there longer, they start to get sick. Throwing up falls into the same category as the solid. So you just have issues that happen. So, I mean, we're not blind. We see the problems here, and I've already, Khaleesi's already on top of that. She's already got a draft pamphlet out, educate the heck out of it this coming year, including the education of our staff. Requiring people, children under 3 to, they have to wear the swim diaper. We will require it or they can't go in. And we will also have a 10-minute break every hour and a half, I think it is. And at the same time on our loudspeaker, encourage them to drink and all that kind of stuff. And so with that, that would take care of that side of that. And then also on the staff training, one of the weak points that we found was that when you do have an issue where this would be with the soft, where you have to do some extra chlorinating of the pool, manual chlorinating, there are special ways to do that. And all of our staff that deal with this are certified to do this. It's just one of those things. If you're not doing it all the time, you can be certified in anything. You need the practice. And so they've already set up a schedule for this next summer that the park staff these would be people that would be on call or something like that when it happens in the evening or on the weekend, that they fully understand how and have practice. And in this case, the staff member did do it right as far as the chemicals and how much and all that, but they just didn't do it in the right place. And so when you're dealing with chlorine, as safe as you can make it, they still don't deal well with biologics. So a little bit of dirt and chlorine and water is a bad thing. So you want to get it diluted, and so you mix it down at the pool. So we're a little out of sequence with that, but we think overall we were a little weak on that, and we'll already have that fixed. And so I think we've got this in hand, under control for this next year, and I don't think we'll see this again. There's going to be times when you just can't help it. If something just happens with little kids, it just happens. I mean, sometimes adults. It's not always just little kids. But those were the primary issues that we had. It was very stressful on the staff because once this gets ahead of you, you can't catch up to it just because of the social media, whether you physically actually had things under control. We did have the health department out 5 times. One of those was a scheduled check that they always do. The others were, most of them were from parents that panicked or just had an issue with maybe the way that they had to get out of the pool and just didn't like it. So, but in all cases, our books were good. I mean, they had no errors, and so we were in compliance. It was just an unfortunate situation for the patrons. So, anyway, in conclusion of my presentation, across the board, we saw increases in revenues, but we also had increases in expenses. And of course, all of these we will focus on and try to narrow those gaps as best that we can. We know that we have the need for the education and policy enforcement as this next year comes up. Like I said, Khaleesi's right on top of this already. We weren't ready to print yet, so I did not bring you the draft pamphlets that will go out, that everybody that signs up will get one, and as well as in our brochures and things. And we also know that we have that weakness in our specialized training of the staff, and we've already arranged to have that fixed as well. And that is my report.
Okay. Walter.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Several things. Not having seen this before. Dwight, 79 days in 2016. Did you have it on a slide how that compared to previous years?
Let's see.
The number of days open.
I don't think I've got one that has a whole history of days open. I do have from last.
How's your memory?
Well, we had 2016, for example. We had 79 days, and the days open that can change. That just changes depending on when school's open and all.
Yeah,
that
I understand.
Jazz. Okay.
Yeah.
But I do not have a slide with all those days. Sorry.
Okay, if I may.
Go ahead.
Can you go back to your graph on revenue and expense? Do you know how much of the 358, 751 was contributed, came from rather the salary increase?
It was just short, I believe, of 12,000. It was 11,000 something.
So that would have closed your subsidy to 41?
Yes.
Had it not been for that?
Yes.
Okay.
And that's close to what we've had in the last year, I think it was. We also had one purchase of, I forgot the number, but it was like 3,000 or 4,000 that was for some, I think it's the squirt gun jobs. You have to buy those in bulk. We do get our money back out of those as they get sold, but we won't have to purchase those for the next probably 20 years.
If I may, your stool in the pool problem.
Yes.
Do you have a large sign at the ticket window or at the entrance about requiring swim diapers on 3 and under or whatever the rule is?
No.
Should you?
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, tell them right up.
Nobody will get in that pool and won't know this coming year.
Okay.
We just didn't realize that we were going to have this problem. It has happened in the past, but nothing to this extent. And like I say, I mean, that really wasn't very many times. It's just the way that it happened, and it exploded on social media.
It's obvious it's very much on your mind.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But they are required,
Yes.
and your staff, if they realize that they don't have them, they talk to the parent.
Yes.
Okay. And then if I may last, back on your scholarship slide, please.
Yes, sir.
On the residents, where were you to budget? Do you know? What do we put in there per year?
For residents, for the Youth Scholarship Fund?
Yeah, we put in an amount.
18,000?
And you only used 13.5.
That was just for this. That did not include other programs.
Okay.
It's
So
just
where were you to total youth scholarships to budget?
We maxed out. We used all 18,000 overall, and right toward the end.
But it went really, you didn't run out in the middle of the year.
No, we had about a month and a half left.
Okay. And you're budgeting the same 18 for 2018?
Yes.
Okay. That's all I've got. Thank you.
Other questions for Dwight? Catherine?
Mine has to do with staffing and just in terms of continuity. And you said there's more high schoolers, so if you could just go into that a little more, what you see happening and how you're going to retain people that are already trained.
Well, having just had some training the other day on the ways that the different age groups work. It's always going to be a challenge, I think.